I know why you're not getting what you want in relationships. You don't know how to date up, but that's okay. We're gonna talk about it today. We are going to heal that today, together, collectively. I'm going to tell you and give you an entire comprehensive guide on how to date up. I want to start by saying this was spurred by the wizard Liz and the situation that's going on with her. Shout out to her. My heart breaks for her, but she will be okay. We started having these conversations on social media, and so I wanted to bring a full-length guide to you here so that you can start leveling up and dating up and marrying up. I have been practicing hypergamy, or this dating up way of life, for a very long time now. And I have not only my own personal experiences, but also my clients as well. So I'm pulling from a lot of different experiences of the feminine. And I want to give you the history. I want to give you the evolution. I want to give you the misconceptions. And I also want to tell you how to go about this now in 2025. If you like that, keep watching, share, like, subscribe. Make sure that there's someone that you love that you share this with, because this could change their entire life. We have always been hypergamous. We have always dated up as women, married up, everything up. Since tribal days, we have looked for the hunters. We've been the gatherers. And so we've looked for the strongest, most capable, most skilled hunter, the biggest and best, the leader of the tribe, because he would be a great leader for our family. He would be able to take care of our children and us and make sure that we're safe and that our DNA is continued on into the next generation and beyond that. So it was very much a survival tactic back in the day, and it worked for us. It was what we needed in those times because life was very different. Life was a lot more dangerous. There was a lot more that we had to lose right there up front, like our life. So we wanted to make sure that we were cared for, that our kids were cared for, and that is why beauty and attractiveness is such a big thing for women, because we wanted to be the most attractive to attract the strongest, most capable mate, the leader of the tribe, if we could, because that meant we would have the best pickings of food. That meant we'd have the best seats in the house. That means we'd always be treated better because we were moving up in rank. So it's always been like a social climbing kind of thing. Now that those days are gone and we are now in 2025, life is a lot different. Women now have the access to, and the ability to make our own money. We can travel if we want to. We don't have to be married. We don't have to have children. Motherhood is not the only option for us. We can do any career that a man can do, and likely we're doing it much better, even though we had a later start. So there's so much liberation and there's so much freedom that the feminine has now, which is so exciting, and it makes me so happy to be born and alive in this time frame. Like, think about that for a second. You are alive. You are born during a time when women are free, we're liberated. So much good comes of that, but there's also a kind of flipping and reversal of the roles, and we've got to bring things back to equilibrium, which is why things like this video exist. So I want to talk about the history, and now with the evolution. Now that we're free and we're liberated, there are so many misconceptions about hypergamy that come up. One of the misconceptions is that since we're free now and we're liberated, we can throw the old paradigm away and we can just focus on marrying and dating for love. My love, that is a mistake. You don't ever want to throw away the baby with the bathwater. You don't ever want to say, that is done, we never needed it, and now we are in a completely different, paradigm, and that's done, we don't need it. The realm of relationships and love and marriage is a completely different realm than any other aspect of life, because this one includes sex and co-creation directly. That's the differentiator between your partner, your husband, and a random man or a friend or your uncle or your dad, right? That's what differentiates those men. One you share that sexual energy with and you co-create with. The other one, you do not, for obvious reasons. So with these two realms being very different, they ask of us as women to embody very different versions of the feminine. So when you are out and about living your life in the world, I want you to embody the most shameless, most confident, version of you. I want you to step out in the world like you're that superstar and that girl, because you are. That's why I advocate that every single woman has a business, because we naturally are inclined and built to be leaders. We're wise, we have intuition, we know how to move and ebb with the flows of life. Like, we come prepackaged with everything it takes to be a true leader. Not just look like one, but be one. However, in the realm of relationships, this is where we introduce the concept of shame. And it's not in the way that you would think that we use the word shame as a negative thing. It's just the opposite of shamelessness, right? So shame, bringing that in, is, think of it like being demure, think of it like being mysterious, think of it like not exposing everything. So shamelessness, everything is out in the open. I'm shameless. It's almost like being naked. Where the opposite, shame, is more so like being covered, being clothed, being, shrouded in mystery. So think of it in that way. So in the relationship realm, I want you to embody a little bit of that shame energy from that perspective of allowing the mystery, allowing yourself to receive, letting yourself build a magnetic aura that draws a man in, that makes him want to know more, that makes him want to invest, that makes him want to chase, that makes him want to pursue you. The misconception is that you can take the shamelessness and apply that in this realm and you'll have the same results that a protector and a provider will give you. That's not the case. You still show up as you, as your shameless you, but you add an element of the mystery, of the shame, of the thing that makes them want to pursue. If you're taking that full shamelessness and applying it to your relationships, then you become the pursuer and you become the chaser and the doer and the giver, and that man becomes the receiver. So you see, they're two different realms and you have to treat them differently. But you can also don't ever take the shame and then apply it in the other aspects either, because then you will start discounting yourself. You will start hiding. You will start really losing confidence. You will not be able to have a voice. This is where we came from as women. We came from being shut down and not being able to speak and not being able to live the life that we know that we should be, because we were under the rule, the thumb of patriarchy. So now that we're not, we have to be careful to not carry that same shame from the relationship realm over to the other aspects of our life, because we can really, really do some damage to our self-worth and our self-confidence if we do that. So there's a balance of having both and applying each to each area of life. So you're never 100% in shame or 100% in shamelessness. You just have more shamelessness in other areas of your life, and then you have a little more shame in the relationship space, because that keeps the polarity moving. Okay, so let me know your thoughts on that. Go ahead and like and share this video. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about how to practice hypergamy, dating up and leveling up now in 2025. The first step is to be already living your dream life, already on purpose. In purpose, on purpose. You already know who you are. You already have your own money. You already have your own resources to an extent where you can take care of yourself. Because the old paradigm was, we can't take care of ourselves because we're literally not allowed to. It's illegal. So we have to depend on a man. The new paradigm is, we don't have to depend on a man and for anything, and we are good on our own. So in this paradigm right now, you have to come to this beautiful marriage of the two, where you have your dream life, you're living the life you want to live, you're on track to where you want to go, you know where you're going, you're certain about who you are, but you also know that you're open to receiving and to help and to a man making your life easier. It's a balance. You don't want to go too far into either end. So live your dream life. This is a question that I've posted before, I do with my clients, I tell myself as well, or ask myself, it's, if I had everything I wanted, would I still want this, or would I still choose this? And that question changed my life, because it allowed me to make decisions from my highest self rather than from my current self. because your highest self is always more in freedom than your current self. It's always more liberated, it's always more open, it's always more expansive than your current self, no matter how expansive you are now, because it is your higher self. So when you ask that question, you then are able to make the decision from your highest self and for your highest good, which is also the highest good of all. So ask yourself that question, and then you will know what your decision is and where you're making the decision from. If the answer is no, you are leaning too heavily in the shame and you need to move a little bit more into the shamelessness. If the answer is yes, I would still make this choice, congratulations, you are living in harmony and in balance, okay? So live your dream life is number one. Then you want to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to only date and attract and marry providers and traditionally masculine men. Now, traditionally masculine is a very broad term and everyone has their own idea of what that means. But in my opinion, traditionally masculine men uphold the provider protector mentality while also being current, because we're in 2025, with knowing that women have access now and that his role is to support you in your ascension and your evolution, because you will pour into the world in a way that he cannot as a man. So this is the kind of man, in my opinion, that's traditionally masculine and that wants to be of service to the divine feminine, aka you, and wants to be devoted to the divine feminine, aka you. So put yourself in a position to meet men like this and to only entertain men like this that show this kind of quality. If you want more on how to vet men, comment below and I will make a video on how to vet men properly and the methods that I've used and that I've learned and that I've been taught as well. So how to vet men. So you want to make sure that you're vetting these men, you're in these positions with these men that have this traditional masculine mindset and way of life. And then you want to introduce the mysterious, a little bit protective side, like I said, the shame side, a little bit of that, to make sure that, you know, they are pursuing you and you are centering yourself as the center of your universe, and you're not centering him or anyone or anything else as the center of your universe, while still maintaining balance. There is a delicate balance to this, because if you go too far into that energy, it can become very narcissistic. And if you want a healthy relationship, you're going to have a little bit of balance, right? But while you're in the dating and courting and pursuing phase, you should be fully locked in, focused on you, until someone is amazing enough that they attract some of your attention, because your attention is currency. So all of it should be on you and your goals and where you're going. And if a man is doing, you know, enough where it's catching your attention, and we'll talk about what enough means in another video. Comment if you want me to make a video on what that looks like. If he's doing, you know, enough to get your attention, which should be quite a lot, then you can give him a little bit of your attention until he then commits to you, whether it's a ring, or whatever it is, whether he decides to commit to you, then you can give him a little bit more attention. But you want to keep that mindset always, whether you're married, it doesn't matter. Keep that mindset of, I am the center of my happiness, my universe. I am tuned in, tapped in with my God essence, and this is how I live my life. It's not just to get to the goal of a marriage or to get to a goal of a man. It's never about that. If you think, which is another misconception, that hypergamy is about money or looks, that just shows that you have been brainwashed, like most of society, to be male-centered, because men and money are very similar in energy. And if you're so focused on men and money, that means you're not focused on you being the center of your universe. And that means that you are leaking energy and you are not fully in your feminine essence and glow. Because when you are, again, you are focused on yourself and you are moving forward in your life. And those things are supposed to be additions and helpful. Relationships, marriage, and dating are very dangerous for women that do not know how to date hypergamously. Is that a word? How to be hypergamous. It's very dangerous because we have such a responsibility with the ability to create life, not just a baby or physically, but in general. We literally are life force energy embodied. So with that, we have such a big responsibility to make sure we're honoring the divine feminine, which is ourselves, and to make sure that we are being poured into and being fed and nurtured by the masculine. That means by men, but also by money. Your money is used to pour deeper into you. Your money is used to light you up, and the man also provides more of that money to do that for you. This is what I have for you. I hope that this helps. I cannot wait to make more content like this for you guys. It seems like you guys really like this content, and let me know your thoughts below. I have a event coming up called Shameless. Speaking of shame, Shameless. It is a freedom activation event. It is happening on June 14th in Phoenix, Arizona, and I will have the replays available for you all to purchase on my Thinkific dashboard. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video.